Hi, this is Amber. I'm here with the Stonecrest Film Foundation. Today we have a very wonderful guest. Please introduce yourself.
My name is David Cutting. I'm the Honorary Consul for Barbados here in Atlanta, and I represent our diaspora, and my job is also to promote Barbados as a destination for recreation and for investment. I am fortunate that I had the opportunity between 2000 and 2010 to live and work in Africa in 3 countries. So I live.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing?
Yes, I was an international banker, and I worked for a British bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and I was the chief executive for their business in Nigeria, Uganda, and Botswana. So I spent about 3 years in each of those countries.
So even in the film, they do address like these stereotypes. Like, remember when the character said he was going to go practice in Africa, and his friend said, "But you can't make no money in Africa." So the film does a wonderful job of addressing what you just discussed. You were in Africa making a living.
That's right. It dispels those myths. Of course, every country has negatives, and African countries is no exception. But I think the prevailing image of Africa has been negative for too long. And Africa has as much diversity in terms of wealth as anywhere else. There's a lot of poverty. Perhaps there's a lot more poverty than some other places, but there's lots of wealth. And there are middle-class successes, certainly in the sub-Saharan countries that I've been in. I've been in most of the countries in sub-Saharan Africa, even though I worked in only 3. I did a lot of travel while I was there. So I think the film helps to dispel myths. It clears up ignorance. Ignorance on both sides, not just ignorance of the diaspora Africans, but also ignorance about Africans, about the Caribbean as well.
Now that's interesting that you addressed that. But even in the film with Joseph going over to Africa, and then remember when his mother comes to visit and she says, "I always knew Joseph would do well," but she didn't. She doubted him because she thought Africa was a place where you would go.
It was ignorance. It was essentially she did not know, and I think that the movie had a very positive ending in that regard. It brought the family together. They came out, and I think the uncle was taking all those pictures, and he didn't imagine that he would see houses like that, and then the private hospital.
And I know we're talking in depth about the film, but trust me, the film is like 2 hours. So even though we're talking in depth, there's still so much to see.
And there's a lot of emotion in the film, a lot of emotion. And I think that there are moments in the film where you might be driven to tears. And sibling rivalry, the issues around succession in the families, and preferential treatment and so on and so forth. So I think it has all the elements, but what I think would be most attractive to our diaspora is that it's us. We are both in front of the camera and behind the camera as people from the Caribbean and from Africa.
And I think the producers and the writer did a wonderful job of making it relevant to a younger audience, because there were all those moments that could nearly draw you to tears, if not, just full-on boo-hoo, bawling.
And it was particularly compelling, the young children telling on their uncle or their dad. I don't know if you saw that when in one of the I think it was the young son.
You mean the moments when the grandparent was talking to the boy?
That's right. That was particularly good. And I thought even the children who were acting were very compelling, because the boy who was very ill and was in need of the transplant. Absolutely, it was very, very authentic.
And then you have organizations like the Stonecrest Film Foundation that comes together to help bring these films to America, because before Atlanta, it was only aired in Barbados and Jamaica and Ghana, and now in the States.
Nigeria as well. Yeah, I think the whole focus of the Stonecrest Foundation on bringing more of this kind of material to the local community here, I think is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I've known Sandra Lewis Glass in the last couple of years, and we've done a couple of things together, and we work together to help make this happen, and I'm very proud to be part of it.
Yeah, I just feel like the presence of the foundation helps bring the whole message of the film even right back around to what it was supposed to be about, connecting the diaspora. So we're very fortunate to be a part of this. Me as someone, just a lowly journalist, and you as a representative from Barbados, and everyone else here.
And, we had other Caribbean countries represented diplomatically here today. We had the Bahamas, we had Guyana. Unfortunately, the Jamaica Honorary Consul couldn't make it because she's actually not well. She's not well, but she's recovering. And I think Haiti was not here, but we hope that the rest of the Caribbean diaspora will be attending the public showings, which will begin in March, as you know.
So in March, we encourage anyone who sees this to go and see the Joseph film because of all the reasons we just discussed and more that we just don't have the time to discuss right now. But it's a very important film. You heard it from me and you heard it from my wonderful guests. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.